With a former AEW champion set to start with WWE and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. As the Bloodline attacked John Cena on Friday night, AJ Styles said this about it on the SmackDown Lowdown. Respect. John and I went to war together. In fact, it was against each other. But you gotta respect someone who brings it every night, and John Cena does just that. The Bloodline, they want to cause problems. Well, that's good because now they got two more, John Cena and AJ Styles. Mentioning his new role in Impact Wrestling, Rhino said this on Kurt Angle's podcast. Well, just with the Marina Big Daddy's Boatyard, so we're getting ready for the winter season, so that's always fun, getting everything out, ready for the winter, and with wrestling, it just seems like it always picks up this time of the year, and so yeah, just doing that, and with Impact, I'm producing now, so it's like more of a workload, but the same pay, so... Saying this about changes that could come to premium live events for WWE after the recent merger, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, we'll be seeing a lot more of WWE trying to get cities to bid for at least the big shows. I mean, the goal is for all 12 pay-per-view shows, but right now, I think the goal is 4 or 5 for next year, and maybe more as time goes on, as UFC is doing as well. Speaking about the patience of Vince McMahon allowing talent to succeed in WWE, president of the company Nick Khan said on the Bill Simmons podcast, when I started with WWE, height of COVID, Dominic, young wrestler, Ray's son, seen as Ray's son, nice young man, but it wasn't really working. I think the patience that Vince and Paul Levesque, Triple H show with the talent, you saw it with Roman, where people were not buying him as the monster face, if you will. And then all of a sudden during COVID, he came back to the Florida facility when we were taping down there, came back as a heel, and boom, Roman Reigns takes off. Dominic Mysterio, hey, I'm the good son of Rey Mysterio. It was great, they stuck with it, turned him into a heel, amazing. Taking to Twitter, Nia Jax, who recently made her WWE comeback, seemingly took a shot at those that are upset about this taking place. She wrote that, every time I come on Twitter, all I see are crybabies. Speaking of WWE returns, The Rock came back on SmackDown as reasons for this were given by Ringside News. WWE fans are talking about The Rock's in-ring return with a lot more hope right now. After Dwayne Johnson surprised fans this week on SmackDown, they want to know when he will be back. The idea has been floated out there that The Rock might want to prove something to Philadelphia. After all, that was the city that hosted the Royal Rumble event many years ago, where Roman Reigns was booed out of the building, even though The Rock was there to raise his hand and get him over. Ringside News reached out to ask about this mindset from The Rock. A tenured member of the creative team said, maybe The Rock feels that way. It was also floated out there that the Great One could have many more reasons for wanting to wrestle at WrestleMania 40. We were told that it could have a lot more to do with Roman Reigns being at the height of the business, and Rock knows he'd get great work with Roman and Heyman and Bloodline members. The fact that WrestleMania 40 will be an important show and its first Endeavor-owned WrestleMania could also play into things. In the end, there is a lot to unpack in that situation. It was reported this week that The Rock and WWE have agreed to meet with each other to discuss possible stories. It appears that The Rock's recent SmackDown return could open up something down the line. Ringside News exclusively reported that The Rock was a lock for WrestleMania. He then confirmed this on the Pat McAfee show this week. We will have to see if they can work something out for WrestleMania 40, but The Rock is open to the idea of having that match against Roman Reigns. Explaining how valuable his talk show is in WWE, Grayson Waller told After the Bell, when it first started, it was kind of just a talk show. There was no real big thing behind it. But then over time, every time I have these big names, and I think people are starting to see that I can make myself relevant again being on this show. He thought this was the perfect platform to go out and give this big news, and that's what I am now. I'm this platform for people to either make themselves relevant again or get their news out there, and I'm happy to let that happen. On his Click This podcast, Kevin Nash called out pro wrestlers that complain about fans asking them for autographs. I mean, for years, you watch someone else come over and ask someone you're with to have their picture taken with them, and nobody asks you. I'm like, man, it must be cool. Then all of a sudden, you get noticed, and guys turn into dicks. You can't have both. No, the boys turn into dicks, because now they're like, F off. You're a fake wrestler. It's not like you hit a curveball, MFer. Then there's always the guy who wants to tell the people while they're eating at the Waffle House with the rest of the boys that it's not polite to bother you when you're eating a fine meal at the Waffle House. You know, it's just like, you want a picture? Come here, sit next to me. Want me to sign something? Here. You learn on this planet that if someone wants your to sign something, it takes 30 seconds to do it, but it takes 4 minutes to be a douchebag and explain why you're not signing something. Sticking with Kevin Nash, he would also take another dig at CM Punk on his podcast, saying that he probably has one of the 7 worst bodies to ever hold the belt, if not the worst body to hold the belt. And I don't care if you're straight edge or whatever you are, there are some natural guys out there who actually have some muscle. In some unseen footage, CM Punk in his final AEW match at All In London can be seen blading under the announce table. With former MLW star Richard Holliday confirming his status as a free agent back in April, Steve Carrier of Ringside News gave an update on his WWE status, writing, "Richard Holliday is a free agent right now, and many fans have wondered if he is going to WWE. At this point, we haven't heard that his name has been mentioned at all internally within WWE's main roster. That's not to say there isn't NXT interest." When it comes to plans for Kevin Owens in 2024, Ringside News wrote that BWE posted on X to reveal that WWE is a big program in the pipeline for Dominic Mysterio. That being said, it wasn't confirmed exactly when we will see that match go down. The bona fide WWE insider revealed that WWE has big plans for Dominic Mysterio and Kevin Owens in 2024. Since WWE has a lot of things that they can build in 2024, the possibilities seem endless for those two. Kevin Owens stated a few months ago that he only has around a year and a half left on his WWE deal. Kevin also said that he is uncertain about what is next for him. Touching on Jade Cargill, who had seemingly departed AEW and had her last match recently, it was reported that in an update on Jade Cargill, her AEW contract is believed to have expired. WWE sources have confirmed to PWInsider.com that Cargill is slated to be at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando this coming week. In some unfortunate news, Canadian professional wrestler and promoter Emile Dupree has passed away at the age of 86. As wrestler and trainer Ron Hutchinson confirmed the news, writing, "I spent 6 summers touring for Emile Dupree, working 7 nights a week for months on end, working with some of the best names in the business. It was a learning experience like no other, and one I've publicly been thankful to Emile for since the very beginning. I'm sure I'll post as I take the time to reflect on this Canadian wrestling icon and just how much he meant to me, since first first chatting with him and writing to him when I was 19 years old. But let me leave you with this for now. Emile Dupree was an often overlooked Canadian pro wrestling icon. He gave work and opportunities to so many of us with his Grand Prix wrestling territory, a grand territory that just might have been the best kept secret in pro wrestling. He was wholeheartedly supported by a wonderful wife, Paula, and an equally as loving family. My thoughts, prayers, and well wishes and condolences go out this morning to all of Emile's family, and especially Paula, Renee, Jeff, and Ron. May you all find comfort in the cherished memories that you hold so dear. I know that I will try to find that comfort today through those memories. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.